Dark. It's a dark day today. But we have to charge into the game. Yo, my people, welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, I got Abz with me once again. We done it once, we had to do it twice. Listen, where do we even start, man? I feel like with the last time we were on Abz, I felt like we were in a much better place. I felt like we were, the mood was high, the spirits were high. We were talking about how we were becoming better human beings. I think I've gone back to the dark side again, man. I think I think tomorrow. No, I don't think anyone's getting a good morning from me tomorrow morning. I'll be so.
Yeah, no one's no good mornings.
No one. Don't even look in my direction tomorrow. Don't even look at me. Don't even sniff in my direction.
Might even spit on the floor.
Yeah. I already done that in my room. I already did that in my room a couple of times.
Who are you spitting the floor? Who are you spitting on the floor there?
Just out of anger, innit? Just out of anger.
The cat. I clocked it was a cat. It was a cat.
Yeah, cat. Yeah, that's the first victim. Yeah, that's the first victim. No, it's like eating for the next 24 hours as well.
Yeah, chill out, Kurt Zuma. Man said first victim. You're going crazy.
Yeah, oh, crazy. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's not a Kurt Zuma thing. Let me just put that out there. It's not a Kurt Zuma thing. My cats are very well looked after, don't worry. But listen, obviously, we absolutely need to talk about the game. Where do we start, man? Because obviously, we lost 2-1 at St. James Park. So Newcastle beat Man United 2-1. I mean, it kind of resembled a little bit of the Everton game. When we lost at home to 10 men. I felt like it was a game that was firmly in our hands. The circumstances favored us, and it should have been a game where we put the job to bed, but we didn't. We gave Newcastle opportunities to come back in, and we ultimately let it slip. In terms of the performance, what were your thoughts?
Although we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let you go. Well, like this one hurts, man. The undefeated streak under Michael Carrick is over, bro. But at the end of the day, we both said, I think in the last video that we were in St. James's Park, is not going to be an easy place to go. And credit to Newcastle. I felt like the last time we played Newcastle in the league, they were a level below. I felt like I thought that it was so poor. I know they gave as good as they could get in that game. This one felt more like the Newcastle that we expect. Right.
Yeah.
And at St. James's Park, they brought the energy, they brought the physicality, they brought the jewels. And to be fair, up until that moment, it was probably more of a Newcastle game. When I say the moment, I'm talking about the Jacob Ramsey second yellow, which I actually don't know. I want to know your thoughts. And I thought that was probably a bit harsh to be a second yellow, because I don't think he necessarily dived simulation.
I think it's the way he fell. I think the way he felt.
Yeah, it looked a bit more theatrical maybe than it needed to do, but I still thought it was slightly harsh on him. But then that was the main moment. And then you think, naturally, my mind is like, are they gone 10 men? No problem. But then Bruno comes with that silly challenge. But I completely agree with what you said at the beginning. It felt like it was a game that we could have taken. And there were chances created. And it's a bit of a frustrating one. But if any lesson was going to be learned out of all of the things you'd expect for us to learn as a squad, taking your chances rather than maybe struggling to create chances or maybe confusion on what the manager wants. Like, if there was going to be an issue that you want to hang on to, like, that's why I'm not throwing the toys out the front. I'm not overreacting with this one too much, because you said this last week. We've been saying this for a while. This loss was going to come. We were not going to go undefeated for the whole until the end of the season. Although as much as we might wanted to do and said maybe we had a fake title race on our hands, it wasn't the reality. There was going to be that loss, and St. James's Park was going to be a place where it would be. They would make it really, really tough, especially after they got their goal. I know Casemiro got the equalizer just before half time, but it felt as though with the way that they were going to be fighting for 90 minutes, it was going to be a tough affair. But I genuinely thought we did enough to take, if we took our chances, for us to take those points at St. James's Park. But that's the lesson we have to learn. That's the lesson the boys have to learn. Mike Carrick has to learn. And they've got to bounce back quickly. They can't let this be a downturn in form.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. You're right. I did say, of course, we don't expect to win every single game. I think a loss is inevitable. It will happen at some point, right? But the frustrating part is the manner of which we lost today. I felt like it was the way we lost today was annoying. It could have easily been avoided, and we could have easily have gotten a result today. I feel like today was a bit of a catch-22 because we know that going up to St. James Park, our record there is not great. We haven't won there since I think maybe under Oli, I believe.
That's the last time I remember, yeah.
That's the last time I can remember, when Wan-Bissaka, Rashford, Bruno. So that's quite a while ago. So it is a stadium that, we have in recent years struggled there. But I felt like today we had the opportunity to walk away with 3 points, especially when that red card came. But it is a bit of a catch-22, and the reason why I say that is because we know that, physically, Newcastle are a very strong team. They got a team of strong players, tall players, and it's always going to be a physical battle, right? But I feel like with 11 men, they were more attacking. I felt like, so therefore they open up a lot more spaces for us to counter, and attack spaces. But once they go down to 10 men, then now it becomes more of a low block, mid block, and defensively, when Newcastle got the physicality and the strength in those players, playing against a mid block and low block against that kind of team, it's always gonna be difficult. But we still created chances. We still had opportunities. I think our performance once they went down to 10 men became a lot worse. That's the alarming part for me. I felt like the performance in general just was a lot worse. And on top of that, I just felt like Ramsdale was just having one of those days as well, where he's just not letting the ball go into the back of the net. And then, of course, a moment of magic, a moment of brilliance from Masula right at the end, basically killed us. So it's a frustrating game. I know I said losses are inevitable. It will happen at some point. There will be learning curves, but it's frustrating because I felt like it shouldn't have been today. It shouldn't have been this type of result in the manner that it happened as well. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's give and take in it. You got to learn and move on and not dwell on it too much. Like you said, I'm not throwing my toys at the pram as well. It's just frustrating. Obviously, the loser streak is over, but we have to kind of pick us up again. I still think we'll get top 3 though. I still think we're comfortable. Obviously, the other results as well. Chelsea beating Villa was huge in that. So I still feel like we are in the driver's seat when it comes to finishing in the Champions League and also finishing in the third. So, I mean, there's definitely still, a lot to play for. But like I said, I'm not throwing my toys at the pram, but I am generally annoyed and frustrated today. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's an annoying one. And I think something to note is, I agree with what you said, especially when a team with the quality of Newcastle, because low blocks aren't created equally. Arsenal do a low block, but it's not the same low block that Nottingham Forest or West Ham would do. Because when you have quality players in that low block, they can still pounce and hurt you, and they can cover ground better, and they're better athletes, and they run more. But also, I feel as though it's something we do struggle against. It's something that we're going to have to figure out. It's something that we've seen maybe in a couple of games as well, maybe even the Fulham game, or not so much the Spurs game, but even the Everton game, where these teams, the West Ham game, comes to mind, where these low block teams, we still need to find a way to effectively create, also not just passing centrally. I spoke about this for quite a while now, not just trying to force the pass centrally, always also trying to attack out wide as well. I'm not just relying on Bruno to be the last person that creates that chance out of nowhere as well. So that's something we still need to learn as well. I think the loss or Lisandro Martinez missing is huge, by the way, guys. I really think it's huge. The level of control that he provides us on a football pitch can't be understated. It's the small things. It's the when he's doing a header, it's going to another player. We're keeping the ball. It's the progression. Like, if we want to be a team that does pass through the middle of the pitch, which seems to be something Michael Carrick wants to do a lot more, his passing is so invaluable. His passes over the top, his passes to his 6s, to his 10s, are so invaluable for the team. And although I think it's not a criticism to Maguire or Euro, who are both very good at passing the ball, but he's just another level. And I just think if I have to try and put my finger on one reason why the control has lacked of late, I think a portion of that percentage has to be the lack of Lisandro Martinez not being in the starting lineup.
I agree, 100%. I think when it comes to line breaking passes and obviously dictating from the back line, I think even Lisandro's probably the best at it. Obviously, Maguire's up there as well, but Lisandro, in terms of the quality of the pass and the range of passes, I think he's definitely the best we have. And yeah, it is a bit of a miss, but I do feel like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot in terms of our own performance. I feel like our attack kind of let us down today. I think Bremo, I'm not gonna lie to you, as much as I love him, as much as a great signing he's been, as impactful he's been this season, today I think was one of his worst games. I feel like he had the early chance, obviously, to put us in the lead. Say again?
Probably definitely his worst game in the Man United shirt so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just felt like, he was just completely off the park. But like, we have compared him to Salah in the sense that he has those games where he's, the performance is not there, but then sometimes can pop up with the goal and assist. But today, unfortunately, it wasn't the case. And so his performance is kind of highlighted even more, But yeah, I think he was really off it. I felt like the midfield were a bit sluggish. I felt like, again, a bit sloppy. I think a bit slow in build up at times. I don't know what it is. I don't, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you feel like we're running them to the ground a little bit? That combination. Casemiro. Obviously, I know Bruno Casemiro. That combination got us the goal again. Bruno, obviously, with the cross. I'm sure we'll talk about that in just a moment. But do you feel like, as that midfield trio, do you think we're running them to the ground a little bit?
Not really. Obviously, we saw Ugarte get his cameo a bit earlier than he usually does. Casemiro usually finishes in the 90s, but I think that black eye didn't help that he got today. Do I feel like he's running into? I do agree with what you're saying about slow build up, but I hate to repeat myself, but I just think whenever Leach is there, the pace of the passing is quicker as well, bro. I just feel like the ball moves with a bit more zip, whereas not necessarily Lenny, but even Harry Maguire is a great passer of the ball, no doubt. But he's someone that takes a couple more touches and waits for the lane to open up a little bit more. Do I feel like they're being run into the ground? No, not really. Just because I think there's more than enough gap in between these games that I don't think it's a physicality issue. I think the reasoning behind it from a character perspective is for them to develop their relationships and to learn each other's game fully inside and out, which obviously isn't going to help much because Casemiro is leaving at the end of the season. But I completely understand it because the alternative isn't great. Ugarte is not a great alternative, and I don't know who we have as a backup for a copy.
We don't have a lack of options. That's the thing. But I think, you know, what I look at is the intensity from the first couple of games, so that the Man City game and the Arsenal game, compared to the intensity now. I just feel like maybe at the beginning, because, you know, they all had a bit of a chip on their shoulder. You know, the shackles of Amram got released. It's like a new manager bounce. So I felt like the intensity was a lot higher. Their motivation levels were a lot higher. And I think like as time has gone on, it's kind of just slowly not deteriorated, but it's kind of dropped off a bit. And I think it's dropped off maybe because of comfortability. They know that they're going to start every game now, so that the intensity is not matching it at the moment. That's how I feel. I feel like their intensity is just not what it was a few weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? And I've noticed it in the last few games.
Yeah, from the eye test, I can't disagree with that at all, if I'm being honest. It does feel like that. But I think a lot of that has to do with obviously, as you mentioned, the emotions of these things. Like, for example, new managers coming in, big games, and you're winning these big games, the momentum is going to feel like it's rolling on for sure. But I do think the game states and the teams that we're playing and our attack maybe not firing for whatever reason. Like, there's been times where I think even in the previous video that we recorded together, where I felt like maybe it's just going to be one of those days where attack doesn't click, and then they have a moment, because that's the purpose of having so many different options in attack. For whatever reason, we didn't quite find. Actually, I can't even say we didn't find it. We created enough chances for the attack to finish the game off, and they didn't for whatever reason today. And I wouldn't say it's an intensity issue or there's a natural drop off based on, you know, how high the peak started. I just feel as though it's the type of games that we're playing and the type of opposition that we're facing, where it's asking different questions of not just the players, also the coaching staff, that they need to get used to answering, and they need to get used to getting these results in these types of games regularly. But that's why I would like I say, on the eye test, when I watch the game, do I hear what you're saying? Potentially. But I just feel as though I wouldn't make that sweeping judgment as of yet. Maybe I'd have to see another game for me to fully determine that.
Yeah. I think the next home game. No, I think we will. I mean, we'll talk about it later on, but I think the home game against Aston Villa will be really telling, and it's going to be a big game in terms of Champions League qualification. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how they kind of react in that game. But obviously, Gordon opens the game with the penalty. Was that a penalty for you? I think it was, to be fair. I think Bruno clearly takes him down, so I don't think there should be any question. But what's your thoughts on that?
Clumsy challenge. I mean, I think that was clear and obvious.
Yeah, and then obviously Gordon puts them into the lead, and then that combination again, man. We've seen that combination a lot of times this season. Bruno to Casemiro, whether it's a corner, whether it's a free kick, and Casemiro with another header to get us back in the game almost immediately as well. Yeah. Listen, this Casemiro retirement, a leaving tour, whatever you want to call it, it's coming. I'm telling you right now, it's a better farewell tour than John Cena's right now. I'm enjoying this farewell tour more than I enjoyed John Cena's. I can't lie to you, bro.
And that John Cena farewell tour was impressive as well. We even had we had everything in there. But no one who was a league correspondent, I say this again, why didn't they tell us about this set piece threat? Because what is this? How many
No,
goals
this,
This
bro,
is
it's ridiculous.
ridiculous.
No, but I always knew. I mean, we always knew he was good with headers, and he will always pop up with a header here and there. But this season,
good.
this season is ridiculous. This season is like
No,
almost even last game. Even last game, he almost scored.
From his whole Man United career, bro. Carabao Cup final comes
Yeah.
to mind. So
Okay,
many
yeah,
different
it's true.
things come to mind, bro. The guy has been. It's like, wallahi billahi, from months, not even months, years ago, I would be like, when the corner's coming in, just keep an eye out for Casemiro. He might be the one that just gets this goal, and he's shown it time and time and time again.
Yeah, now he's got a great head. To be fair on.
Allah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That one there.
Allah,
That was crazy. No, but he's got a great head on him. Like, you know what I mean? He's got a great. He's got a great head. No, you know what I'm talking about though. You can see you see Ramadan. Clear your mind. You see, your mind is wrong. Your mind is wrong. You see, you need to get your mind out of the gutter, man. The shaitan is locked up as well. This is all you. Get your mind out of the gutter, man.
I can't leave, man. You're going nuts. Casemiro,
no, get your mind.
La cabeza, ¿no? Yo sé, la cabeza.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, la cabeza del Casemiro, el grande, no. Grandísimo, el mucho, grandísimo con el mundo. El mundo, ¿no?
That's crazy. He just went with bilingual all of a sudden. Duolingo came out all of that.
It comes out sometimes, sorry.
Yeah,
but no, genuinely, he's proven to be that set piece for time and time again.
I heard that voice. Hey, you like the reels for no reason. Like, affairs, man. I just wanted to show us that he can sing for no reason. He showed the show he's got no vocals there.
I don't know what that's for. Sorry.
What? Shake that. It's mystical, like affairs, man.
I know. Go ahead, bro. Hey, listen, chill out, though, man. Listen, man, we lost that. Why you lost?
No, we lost. Okay, sorry, you're right. Well, you're right. We start. You're right. Let me get serious. Game face. Listen, obviously the listen, I have to find some sort of entertainment. Listen, I need to keep my mood up because I can't lie to you. This one done me still. This one done me. I can't lie to you still. But listen, obviously it was 1-1 for majority of that game. Obviously, we were fighting. I felt like we were in control. I felt like we were looking like the team that was gonna get the winner if there was a winner. But then, bro, a moment of brilliance from Asula. You know, an unlikely hero, to be fair to him as well. An unlikely hero that wanted to make a statement because he's been a player for quite some time that's been pushed. You could say pushed out to leave. He's wanted to leave as well, but come off the bench and what a goal, what a statement to make, man. Running down that left-hand side, right-hand side, step overs, cuts inside, boom. Bro, that is a top goal, you know. Top goal. And well, like, yeah, sometimes you just have to say fairs, man. Like, you just gotta hold up your hands and be like, you know what? Psst. You can't even be mad, and it is what it is.
Absolute cinema, bro.
Yeah, what was your thoughts on that moment?
But that's just a moment of brilliance. But this is what you allow if you are playing against a team that is in a low block that has quality on the pitch, off the bench, and you give them chance after chance after chance by not tucking them away into bed. Hello, Newcastle. Go on, it's time. We're gonna read you a lullaby. It's time to go sleep. You don't put them to bed.
Crazy.
That Todd will wake up and bang you in the face. And that's what Asula did.
Is that what toddlers do in South London? Yeah, fairs, man. I didn't know that's what they do. They just bang their parents in the face. But listen, I understand what you're saying. We didn't put them to sleep, and ultimately we got punished for it. We did take our chances, and they punished us. But now what a goal, though. I can't even be mad at that, bro. When you know me, one thing is if somebody scores a good goal, a goal like that, you can't even get mad. You just have to kind of hold up your hands.
I can't hate on it. I can't
hate on that, bro. So you know what? It is what it is. We have to charge it to the game. We have to move. But we still have a lot to play for. Like I said, we're still in a great position.
Definitely like I see. Like, this is the reason why our energy is so low. For everyone that's thinking, watching this, why these guys are doing it's a winding one, bro. Conceding on 89 minutes after missing chance after chance, you feel it. It's a little bit. You feel it when the chances are being missed. It's like, oh, please don't do this today. That one. Well, it's not even a chance. It's a half chance. He picks it out from nowhere. It's ridiculous, bro.
You know what it feels like? It feels like the remember Joshua versus Dubois. It's like Joshua was in control that whole game, control in that match, control, and then all of a sudden that bang out of nowhere, boom, sends you to sleep. Boom. That's how it felt like. I felt like it was a boxing match that we were in control of, and then that one right overhead hook to the chin, bang, boom. That's it.
Mad. That's what it was.
Like, lights out.
Dubois
Literally.
banged us in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
And have you even heard him in press conferences? Have you heard him in press conferences?
Yeah. He's a comedian. He's an unintentional comedian still. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Of course, we have Aston Villa next. What's your thoughts on that game? That's going to be a huge game in terms of the race for Champions League football. Obviously, Aston Villa are involved. They obviously today they got touched by Chelsea. I can't lie. Chelsea actually absolutely destroyed them. João Pedro with an unbelievable display today. He's actually, you know what? He's actually proven that he actually can be a number 9. He actually can be a number 9, bro. Like today, he's obviously popped up with a hat trick. I believe scored a hat trick today.
Yes, it was a hat trick. Yeah.
But yeah, again, that's a huge result for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Villa, like I said in the last video, I think they're starting to lose, momentum. I think they're slowly falling out the race. But the game against Man United, again, it's an opportunity for them to, find, or bounce back or find that rhythm again. So it will be a big game. Aston Villa are always a tough team to play against. So what's your thoughts on that on that game and your predictions?
Huge fixture. But it's going to be the biggest one so far if we want to be cementing our top 4 hopes and our Champions League football for next season, which we are very, very giddy about just a couple of days ago. We just have to get this job done. Villa are a beatable team, but if we find ourselves in similar situations to the Newcastle one, we could see our asses handed to us. Like I've seen this Villa team lose games by quite a couple of goals and think they didn't. They didn't deserve this result, and at times it felt like that in this Chelsea. Chelsea did pick them off really, really well. And they did have a really João Pedro is so good. He's a player I've rated for so long.
Yeah.
I've had stocks in for so long, and I understand why there was a lot of apprehension and questions around him signing for Chelsea, but I just think quality does shine through eventually. Can we have someone that has a João Pedro performance? Absolutely. We've got those kind
we
of
got enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Mbeumo, Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha, all of them could give you those moments there. So there is that hope within it as well. But in general, what I do want to see is a better team performance. Do you have any update on Leach's fitness, by the way? Do we know how long he's out for?
No, not at all. Not at the moment. I'm hoping it's soon, man, because this running is going to be important. And I think he's going to be an important player for that. But that's been Leach's biggest problem is availability, isn't it? Like the ability we never question.
It's almost happens at the moment. It's like almost so important. I remember last time, the first time that bad injury was Ten Hag Europa League campaign.
Yes,
and we ended up getting knocked out of that as well. So he goes, unfortunately, because when I say missing, I'm not saying missing based on performance, but based on injury, he goes missing at some very, very bad times for the club. Hopefully he comes back as soon as possible. But in general, what I do want to see, as we've alluded to throughout this video, is better performance from Manchester United. I want to see a better performance from one tonight as much as you can. It's going to be a competitive game. They are going to be physical. We should expect that level of physicality that Newcastle bring. But these guys also have a lot of technical quality from back to front as well. And we owe Morgan Rogers some buying, bro. That's the reality of the situation. Morgan Rogers some buying because he dunked on us when we were under the worst manager of all time, which we're not going to talk about. He smoked us. So we have to actually do something at Old Trafford because we need this game, and Old Trafford will come out for that game, and I think it will be a really tightly contested affair. But I feel as though if anything is going to be able to provide us the edge over the top, I think it'll be that crowd, that home advantage, and we need some moments of quality from our quality players. If those things do align the way that they should do, I don't see why we can't win this game.
No, you're right. Listen, I'm going to stand on business. I'm going to say I'm still confident we'll finish third. I'm still confident we'll get Champions League football. But that game is going to be an important one. And like you said, we just need to see a reaction. We need to see a reaction. We need to see the intensity. We're playing at home. We need to see a good team performance. And ultimately, we need to see a good result. So, which I think is possible. I don't see why not. You've seen our performances under Carrick. It is possible that we can go there and get a result. So I'm hoping that is the case. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I'm sure we will talk about that at some point as well. Quick prediction for that game.
2-1, Man United.
2-1. I'm going to say the same as well. 2-1 Man United. I can't lie. I think we'll just edge it. I don't think it'll be easy, but we will edge it for sure. See, I told you, Ramadan, and it's not the shaitan anymore. It's a you problem. You need to sort it out. Get your head out of that gutter, man.
I beg you just put pat on the vocab. But what was the next prediction, sorry?
Yeah. Listen, obviously, we've got to talk about the title race as well. I think it's a huge twist in the title race today. It's huge twist, huge drama. Obviously, Arsenal beat Brighton away 1-0, while Man City obviously dropped points at home to Nottingham Forest. Massive. I think this is a massive moment in the season. Crazy because I didn't expect it, if I'll be honest with you. And if you're an Arsenal fan, you're probably thinking you had the best and the most perfect day possible. You saw your arch rivals all drop points. You know, it's crazy. You saw United lose, you saw City drop points. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as an Arsenal hater, today is dark because my team lost, they won. Obviously, City dropped points as well. So I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're probably, thinking, where's that Liban you? I need to go and dunk on him, man. And I hear it. I absolutely hear it. But listen, credit to Arsenal. I need to give them credit because I think the last 3 games, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Brighton, a lot of people like myself expected them to drop points in one of those games. But instead, they've collected 9 points out of 9. Obviously, question marks about how they've got it done, but they got the job done. And that's what you need to do in these title races. That's what you need to do when you want to become champions. And they are currently, I feel like, over those last 3 games in championship form, if we're keeping it honest. Whereas Man City, I think it's a big slip up from them. Not the worst slip up because I think they still have that game in hand and they still have to play Arsenal, but it's a result that they could have easily avoided in that title race. But what's your thoughts on all of it, man? And how does it change your perception of the title race so far?
Doesn't change much, if I'm being honest. I went on SDS after the Man United win against Arsenal and predicted they'd go undefeated for the rest of the season, just because I've seen this script with Arsenal before, where in previous seasons they'd have a very bad loss that would make it feel quite rocky. And I feel as though all of the questions that yourself and many others have brought up about the mentality and the sustainability and all these kind of things, I think are very, very valid. But I just feel as though this Arsenal team, it's so much harder to get a point off them, bro. It's so much harder for opposition to take something from Arsenal than it is to take from Manchester City. That's just my baseline opinion. And I've thought this throughout the season.
And I agree. I do low-key agree with that. I do agree with that. I agree with that statement, what you just said.
And that's why my stance has been what it has been this whole time. It's why I've had Arsenal as the favourites during the course of this season. I had City winning the league before a ball was kicked. But I've had Arsenal as the favourites the whole time because after you watch them after a while, and Gahey was a big reason as to why I thought, okay, maybe this could turn into a banana peel situation because I think he's been impactful. And Semenyo, like these kind of signings from City in January were unbelievable.
Another goal for Semenyo today as well.
Exactly. It's brilliant from the board to provide the manager with something like that in the winter transfer window, leading directly up to a title race. But I just think this Arsenal team are so, I think they're the hardest team to play in the league, probably one of the hardest teams to play in Europe. And it's got nothing to do with their gameplay. Like, I don't say this out of desire. And I don't I am not as much an Arsenal hater as you. I think you are probably the king of that. But I really don't like seeing Arsenal succeed. But I've had the stance throughout the season. Me and you had this conversation a lot of times. I probably prefer Arsenal to win the league than Manchester City do, just because I think the questions of legacy and uncomfortable conversations and stuff like 8 leagues in however many years for Pep Guardiola at Man City would just be a bit too much for me to handle. But his Arsenal team don't do it pretty. Every game will be the eyesore, and that's why I called them the unwatchables. I stand by that, take 100 million%. But no one, me and you, Arsenal fans worldwide, will care if they win the league title. Like, we're not going to care about how they perform or how they do it, or if it's the margins, or if it's set pieces that they rely upon, if they get this trophy over the line. And if this Arsenal squad does get this trophy over the line, then it gets really uncomfortable for me and you, because then I don't know what that could do for the team, the club, the manager, the players.
Yeah, the floodgates open. The floodgates open for sure.
It can get ugly. It can get ugly. But my take on this title today is it's gone as I didn't expect it to happen now. I wouldn't say I predicted it to happen now, but City being susceptible to conceding versus Arsenal, definitely not. I don't feel as though they're going to concede or lose, especially lose a game. That's why I didn't think they'd win every single game for the rest of the season. I just don't think they'll lose for the rest of the season, and I stand by that. And it seems to have happened like that this game week. What do you think?
No, I agree with a lot of what you said. I think I said in my last video, literally, there will be more twists and turns. I do still see this title race going right down to the last game week or the last couple of game weeks. So my only shock was that it came in this game week or in this fixtures. I didn't expect it to come in this fixtures. And I thought if it was going to come, it would have came on Arsenal side. I thought Arsenal maybe were the ones to drop points rather than Man City dropping points at home to Forest. So that aspect kind of shocked me a bit. It was a bit surprising in that sense. But like I said, I still think City are not in a bad place. I think they're gonna kick themselves in the foot when they wake up, or shoot themselves in the foot when they wake up tomorrow morning, because it was a result they could have easily have avoided. And also across the two games, the Brighton Arsenal game and the Man City Nottingham Forest game, I felt like it was both games could have gone differently. There were games of moments. Man City, obviously were in control, but Nottingham had 2 moments of brilliance from Morgan Gibbs-White and Anderson to get them the level and obviously win that point in the end. I also felt like Arsenal were very fortunate in some ways to not concede at Brighton. I felt like Brighton were knocking on the door quite a lot. They were quite unfortunate not to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. So both results could have gone either way, but of course it went in Arsenal's favour today. And we have to give credit, where credit's due, because I think over the last 3 games, they actually have shown to me that, this is a team that is capable of going over the line. Whether or not they will do it, it's a whole nother conversation. But I don't think this is over. I still think it will drag to the end.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
and I think that game at the Etihad will be big as well. That's going to be a huge game. Whoever wins that, bro, will take.
That's the one. That's the one where I think my take might break. You know what? I think they might go undefeated for the rest. That's the one that's the most up in the air for me. Because it's just, if City,
it can go either way.
It can go either way. That one there, bro. It really can.
And it's mad because I generally think.
By the way, Mourinho had a huge block off the line right at the end of the game.
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah. And it was a crazy ending, bro. It was that's what I'm saying to you. It was marginal. Those 2 games, literally tonight, those 2 games, the Brighton game against Arsenal, the Newcastle Forest game, they were marginal. Both results could have easily gone both in a different way, which is why I'm saying this title race is far from over, in my opinion. 100%. City still have that game in hand. They still have to play also at the Etihad. So there is a lot still to play for, and a lot can happen from then till now, and from then to the end of the season. So I mean, the only reason why I'm backing Man City, honestly, is because I just feel like Man City have more solutions to winning football matches. I know you said the opposite in terms of you see Arsenal less susceptible to conceding goals. I also feel like Man City have more ways of scoring goals that I just find, so I just think their style of football, their experience, I think may show when it gets to the tide, when the tide legs start showing, when it gets to April, May, and those Champions League knockout games start coming in thick and fast, and you've got congested fixtures. I do think it's about the quality in the end and the experience and the composure that will get them over there. That's why I still back City. Of course, they got that game in hand as well, and the fixture, which is why I'm gonna back them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man.
As a side note, I think it will be an absolute crime to football if Victor Gyökeres gets a Premier League winning trophy, and I say that as what I'm saying.
I mean, to be fair to him, if he wins the title, he's done his job. He has done his job. You can't say there's nothing you can say to him still.
Absolutely, but genuinely, I never thought I'd see a worse striker than Rasmus Højlund when he had that really bad patch at Man United. But Victor Gyökeres takes the cake. Yeah, I just needed to say that because watching this game, he's genuinely one of the worst footballers I've ever had the misfortune of watching at the top level Premier League.
That's, bro. I'll be honest with you. I've said this off camera. I think he's bottom 5 strikers in the league, but that's a conversation for another day. I genuinely think he's I think he's bottom 5 strikers in the league. If you look at all the starting strikers for every club in the Premier League, I think he's in the bottom, touching or in the bottom 5 category. Generally, bro. But I don't think today's the day to be slandering Gyökeres. Today's not the day to be doing that.
Watch a game of football and there's one thing that you just that stays on your mind for the whole time.
Yeah, I hear it.
One thing that stayed in my mind the whole time was I can't believe this guy might win a Premier League title. And I'm sure Arsenal fans are just as frustrated as I am.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a large section of I wouldn't say large, but there's some section of Arsenal fan base that are just not convinced by him. But understandably so. But I don't think today is the day. I think obviously the 3 points is what matters for them. I don't think any Arsenal fan cares about Gyökeres today. So it is what it is. But I was thought about this recently. They got the Carabao Cup final, Man City Arsenal. They got a game at the Etihad. There's a chance they meet each other in the Champions League final if both teams progress far enough. This season could be the battle between Man City and Arsenal. This could be make or break for both teams,
Insanely. Are you going to keep denying that little ping, 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 ping is you, bro? I hear it again. It's your Casio watch. Your Casio watch keeps going off in the alarm, bro.
Sorry, bro. Can I not say sorry? It's a month of Ramadan. Can we not just forgive each other and just say move on?
Yeah, well, it's Ramadan. Well, it's Ramadan. But how did you disarm me so quickly? Well, fair play.
Yeah, because what it is. It's mind games. You're not ready for it, man. You're not ready for the mind games, man. But listen, Abz, my brother, I appreciate you jumping on, bro. Another amazing discussion as usual. Drop my phone like a nice, but it's calm. But yeah, nah, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure having you on, my brother. And make sure to also check out Abz's channel as well. He has a lot of things planning. He's got a lot of ideas coming through as well. So make sure to check out his content. Also, make sure to check out his TikToks as well, his reels as well. He does a lot of match analysis on there as well. Any final words from you, my brother?
Always a pleasure being on the platform, brother, and long may the success continue, inshallah, habibi.
Sure, thank you, appreciate that. And listen, until next time, my people, peace.